barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget March 16th in Dallas, Texas, in the heart of downtown Dallas. We got 15 or 16 tickets left. So hurry up, get your tickets. And I appreciate you guys in advance. I just got to finish watching Errol Spence interview on Cynthia Conte's page. And Errol Spence says he needs to work on his defense. He said his defense is a B-. And truth be told, when you're an A-level fighter, a B- is a bad grade. You understand what I'm saying? And we'll get to see the improvements. And I'm assuming that B- grade is based off of the Ocampo and Lamont Peterson fight. Excuse me. So with that being said, I'm real interested to see his improvements. I'm interested to see, will he parry a lot of punches as opposed to catch. He catches a lot, you know. He goes to high guard and he catches a lot. And I'll say this before I get into his jab. The Errol Spence I saw last night was a bouncy athlete. I saw him doing mitts where Derrick James, I'm uncertain if it was the ring or if it was Errol Spence, but just visually looking at Errol Spence, man, he looked like a bouncy athlete. He looked sensational. He looked like a cornerback. He looked like a cornerback in the NFL. You know, like what's Errol Spence? 5'9", 5'10". Yeah, cornerback. Look about one. Obviously, he's cutting weight right now, but you know, the camera puts like 10 pounds on you when you guys see it. So the fighters look bigger than what they really are. They look like a starting cornerback in the NFL. Terrence Newman, Dallas Cowboys. You know, I don't know if he's still playing, but that's the last time I saw the Cowboys play. So it's been some years. But I'm anxious to see his defensive improvements. As I told you guys, Derrick James taught me in New York. I'm a novice at boxing. I'm not considered one of the best, I tell you guys, but I'm committed to getting better, you know. And he actually taught me how to throw punches, you know, and how to rhythmically, is that a term? Rhythmically throw your shots. And I wish I could have captured that interview. You guys would have learned so much about throwing a punch and his mindset into training a fighter to be an aggressive fucking pit bull, you know, alpha male type of fighter. And I wish I could have interviewed it. It was in the hotel lobby of the Marriott in Brooklyn. It was pretty awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation, and I'm excited. So moving forward, I watched two. I'm going to use two fights because these are two fights that I think are really, really important to Errol Spence's career and to you guys, myself included when I say you guys. The Chris Algieri fight and the Kell Brook fight. The Kell Brook fight I saw I thought Errol Spence looked like a fighter that is probably not going to lose for the next 10 years. You know, well, 27, probably until he was 27 at the time, I think. So probably until he was like 33, 34, have a chance at losing. You know what I mean? Like, he just looked like he could do any and everything in that ring. You know, he was like a man possessed. He was athletic. He was in and out of the pocket. His jab was beautiful. Man, there were a couple of moments in that fight where he manipulated Chris Algieri with the jab to land his left hand, and he turned Chris Algieri. I thought that was just fucking amazing. And the only way you can do that as a fighter is if you're great. B-level fighters, A-level fighters, they can't do that type of shit. I don't care who you are or what you are. You can't manipulate a guy the way Errol Spence manipulated Chris Algieri with his jab. You know, landed that left hand. It was to the point where Chris Algieri tried to stay out of range. But because Errol Spence was so bouncy that night and so athletic and so mentally in tune, he was mentally, physically, and spiritually in tune in that Chris Algieri fight. You understand what I'm saying? And he was real, I said that already. And so Chris Algieri didn't know whether to go out of the left door or the right door. You get what I'm saying? And because he didn't know which way to go, he was literally prey for Errol Spence. You know, that night, nobody beats Errol Spence. Nobody. That was like, I was like, damn. You know, and especially because Chris Algieri was younger, and we know Chris Algieri from getting up 5 or 6 times against Manny Pacquiao and beating Rusad you know, that guy, Provodnikov with one eye for 11 rounds, outboxed him for 11 rounds. We know that Chris Algieri, although it was like maybe a year and a half, 2 years removed, 3 years removed from that, that was our fondest memories of that. And he completely turned Chris Algieri into a chef that evening. And he's back boxing now. But I thought that Errol Spence was pretty special. Now the Kell Brook fight, I thought was I gotta go help with the groceries right now. I was waiting in the car, so Dre wouldn't have to bag the groceries. It's raining out here in LA, and I don't want her outside with the groceries, so I gotta go. I'm gonna come back and, well, let me just do this real quick. Kell Brook. Against Kell Brook, he compartmentalized his skill set. You know, I thought the first 2 or 3 rounds, he was just feeling himself out, maybe getting acclimated to the reality of it. And that's probably why he was down on the scorecards until he completely opened up. And his jab was a little lazy. His defense wasn't there. It was kind of too tight. You know, he didn't really get into a rhythm. But that's why Errol Spence is special. He beat Kell Brook, which I thought was a C+, B- performance. That wasn't the best Errol Spence we ever saw. But I think this Saturday night, March 16th, if he combined the punch placement and the power of the Kell Brook fight and the agility and the athleticism and the mindset he had in the Chris Algieri fight, woof, it's going to be special. Errol Spence is going to put on a special performance in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. But I got to go because I don't want Dre taking these groceries out the car in the rain. So Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I apologize it can't be short. Maybe I'll come back and do a part 2 if you guys have any questions as it relates to this video. Barbershop Conversations. I'm gone. Peace.